how to make a marketing and sales strategy. Strategy without a scorecard is just really wishful thinking without a plan. Most owners call random tactics a strategy or just what's in their head, and they wonder why it doesn't lead to results. By the end of this video, you're going to build a simple, complete marketing and sales plan that'll deliver results. So I know I don't look like it, but I used to play football back in college and the University of South Carolina. Don't worry, I wasn't like star quarterback or receiver or linebacker or anything. I was a deep snapper. I was the guy that threw the ball upside down and backwards for 15 yards. If you saw me, you probably saw my rear end, frankly. And so it's a little awkward, but that's what I played. And while I was a deep snapper in college, I would go into the film room and watch different things from previous games and just see what tendencies and all that stuff were. But we never had a playbook. We just kind of, did our thing. But every time I would go into an offensive meeting room or a defensive meeting room, I noticed they had books, big binders. And so a couple times I'd look in those books and realize those were playbooks. And these were the plays that the team members had to study in order to run so that they could get the effective outcome, the effective result that they were looking for, which for us was touchdowns. We wanted to score and we wanted to keep the other team from scoring. That's most everybody's goal on a football team. When it comes to marketing and sales, too many of us just kind of go into it. There's no playbook. There's really no goal. We just think we want more customers or we want more revenue or more something, but we really don't have a targeted aim for what we're looking for. So when we're thinking about marketing and sales, I really want you to think in this playbook metaphor and ask myself a question: where is the playbook that not only I can use, but I can train others to use so that they can deliver marketing results and sales results? In fact, it's probably a good time to stop and go, wait, is there a difference between marketing and sales? Oh my goodness, is there a difference? Yes, in fact, I want to tell you this: marketing always comes before sales. In fact, if you look at the systems of a business, there are 4 core systems of a business. We call it the MSOA, or marketing, sales, operations, administration. And marketing always comes before sales. Sales always before operations or fulfillment, production, and operations always before administration. You can't administer something you don't build, you can't build something you don't sell, and you can't sell something if nobody knows you exist. So those things are in order and they're incredibly important. The first thing we need to do when we're defining a marketing and a sales strategy is we need to, it's not rocket science, but we need to articulate the goal. Where are we aiming? Remember my football team? Our goal was score touchdowns. Now, ultimately, we wanted to win championships, do all that stuff, which really never got close, but it's another story. But ultimately, every single game, we wanted to score touchdowns. Can you imagine if we had just gone into it and gone, hey, I'm running out on the field, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to be aiming towards. So I'm going to line up, and lo and behold, my whole team lines up that way, and I'm lined up this way. We need to articulate the direction that we're going. You think everybody knows the direction you're going. They do not. Right now, it's locked away in your head. We've got to deploy that, get that out, so that other people can run the direction you run. There's an old proverb that says, where there is no vision, people scatter. There's a reason for that. It's because they have their own vision for what it looks like. In fact, there's another verbiage that says this: write the vision down so that those who read it may run. Notice it doesn't say which direction they're going to run in. Some may run away from you because they don't like the vision that you've written down. That's good. That's clarifying. We want vision to be divisive. And so when building a marketing and sales strategy, we cannot build it without clarity of a direction we're going in. In fact, I want to draw your attention to another powerful video that I have recorded for you, and it will walk you through how to build your vision, your strategic plan for the entire business, because once you have that, now we can start to align marketing and sales with that ultimate strategic plan. So go click on that link in the description below once you're done here, and make sure that's your next video that you watch. So once we've defined where we're headed, then we can define our target. Who is our target market? So believe it or not, there are certain people that you want to work with, and there are people that you don't want to work with. If you were to think, and I were to ask you, hey, who's the worst client you've ever had? There they are. They pop right into your head. And so it's not that client that you don't want to work with, it's the attributes that they bring. And you've got to define who are the people that we love to work with, that we are built to serve, and who are the people that we're just not really built to serve. Does that mean you won't work with those people in the future? No, that's not what that means. What it means is you're going to aim your entire marketing guns towards the people that you're best built to serve. And so the second thing we need to do is identify that target or ideal client, and we need to identify those who are non-ideal for what we're looking at. All right, the next 2 steps are going to really start to ramp up our marketing and sales focus. So we've got an overall vision of where we're headed as a business. Then we've identified who we work with, who we don't work with, or who we're not really built to work with. Now what we want to do is walk in and start building strategy around marketing and around sales. So for now, let's keep them separate. They work closely together, but they are two separate systems. They're not siloed, but they are separate systems. So let's start with the marketing. A couple key questions I want you to ask yourself around marketing. Number one, where have 80% of your customers come from in the past? So just look at that. What are the primary channels that they come through? In-person interactions, one-on-one meetings, social media channels, website, whatever that might be, partner-vendor relationships, whatever that channel is, I want you to identify where the majority of your clients have come from in the past. Out of those majority, we're now going to set up activities that start to generate more of those, more opportunities for those people to come, because obviously that's who we're built to serve. And we're going to create activities to radically nurture those people so that we have the best opportunity of turning them into potential customers, getting them into our sales funnel at that point. Marketing and sales is broken down into two funnels. The marketing funnel, that tries to get us as many qualified prospects as possible. And the sales funnel, that tries to get us as many closed deals out of those qualified prospects that we have for marketing. So we've identified where 80% of our clients have come from. We've identified what channels those are and the activities that we have. Now let's just take a simple spreadsheet, put a scorecard to it. What are the actions and the results that we're looking for from the marketing vertical? Now we're going to ask the same question here in a second of sales. But for now, in marketing, what are the actions or activities, and what are the results of those actions or activities? So I'll give you an example from our business. The actions and activities, about 50% of our clients have come from speaking and live event engagement. And so the action and activities are, we want to reach out to people who control those stage, education managers, show managers, people who are in contact with stage, for us to be able to provide education. Another activity is once we provide that education, we want to have clear next steps in place. And so we're constantly repping those. With the next steps, another activity of our marketing plan is how we follow up with those people that sit in front of us and listen to our educational content, and how we can get them engaged with those sorts of things. Those are all activities. What are the results that we're looking for? We're looking for booked appointments. That's the result of our marketing funnel. So that's an example from our business, okay? Now I want you to think about your business. And on a sheet of scratch paper, I want you to ask yourself in two columns, actions, results. What are the actions and activities in marketing that lead to the results, and what's that ultimate result? I really encourage you just to have one result that you're looking for. You could have multiple activities, multiple actions, but one result. Okay, that's our marketing setup. Where's 80% of our business come from? We identify those channels. We describe the actions and results we're looking for. So now let's go to the sales funnel. What are the elements of the sales funnel? Number one is your sales script. And so once you get your action and activity, you've got a qualified prospect. We need to get that handoff right, and then they walk into a sales script. Remember, our result from the marketing funnel is booked appointments. Well, once we have that booked appointment, we need a clean sales script. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes in our business again so you can see this. I'm going to do this from memory. I do not have this written down in front of me. We do have it written down as a process, but not in front of me. Here's our sales script. Question number one, tell me about your business. Question number two, what do you want? Question number three, what are the roadblocks that keep you from getting what you want? Question number four, what would life look like in 3 years if you did nothing different from what you're doing today? Question number five is, what are you willing to invest? Not money. I'm talking about time, number of hours. How many hours a week do you have to invest in this? And finally, question number six is, what questions do you have for me? And from that, usually people ask, what do you offer and how much does it cost? And at that point, that sets us up to walk through a second script that we have, and that's the offer script. So we have what's called the compassion conversion. That's our 6 questions. And then we have the offer script, and that's where we walk through what we actually offer. Now you could look at that and go, Scott, that's super robotic. Yes, you know what people want more than anything? Consistency. They want confidence. And so that's what we're selling, is a system and confidence to deliver results in that system. And in order to do that, we have a script. So in your sales funnel, what is your script? Well, Scott, we sell ice cream. We don't need a script. Yes, you do. Scott, we sell sport coats. We don't need a script. Yes, you do. We sell home building materials. We sell whatever you sell. You need the same script. Why? It's because you can't sell and you can't deliver consistency unless you have the script of what you're selling. And so there's a lot of repetition around that. Can you imagine a football team that was like, we don't need a script. It's just every man for himself. They wouldn't win many games. So we want to have a script. We want to have a playbook. And with sales, just like with marketing, we want to have the activities and the results. Now, what's the ultimate result you're looking for from sales? Most likely a closed contract, a closed deal, whatever. So that's an easy one. But then we've got to articulate what are the activities. That's those sales appointments with the scripts that follow and radical follow-up. Ultimately, your challenge is you feel chaos during the day. You look at marketing and feels like it kind of weaves into sales, and you look at sales and it kind of weaves back into marketing, and there's no distinguished system. The reason that marketing doesn't thrive is because we don't see it as a system that needs to be processed, therefore delegated. The same for sales. What I'm empowering you to do is to go systematize the marketing process and the sales process. And if you want a next step, go click on the link in the description below, and I'll teach you how to train new employees so you have the right people to delegate marketing to and sales to, so they market and sell like you market and sell. So you don't have to live in that chaos that you feel right now. Instead, you can be liberated from chaos to make time for the things that matter most.